Hello, it's Kathleen in Greencubeorchids. I'm doing my ghost orchid update. My Dendrophylax are surviving. They all look fabulous. They're putting on new growth in the crowns. The roots have hardened off. I'm letting them dry before I mist all the time. I wait about 4 or 5 hours, then I mist them. And I've experimented with different mount material. I've got some of them on fir bark and some of them on the hickory bark. And I'm really ecstatic. I used fishing line, and I have to say that I haven't lost but one orchid seedling to rot. And they're all putting out new growths around the eyes. Look at that tiny little green speck. Perfect. They're all putting out new legs, new growths. And this is about my 2 weeks I've had them. I've had them on these for a week now. Only a week. And they are looking wonderful. Look at the new green baby in the front of that one. They are so tiny, but doing so good. And I've only got a third of them mounted. I cleaned the legs up on them. There were a few that had rotted legs, and I still have a whole group of seedlings in the little humidity tray. And some of these are the big cell clusters, and this is something I've learned. Those are not just cell tissue. Those are seeds that haven't had the opportunity to develop because they're all putting out legs. I'm so excited. They're doing so great. And I'm just keeping them moist, letting them dry out, going through that cycle so that the crowns and legs don't rot, misting them regularly with the drying in between, and about every 4 hours is how often I'm spraying. And I'm making sure they're good and dry before I start, because I want those crowns to put out new legs and tentacles and not to just sit there and not grow. And they're doing great. My hubby and I decided to put this little plastic tarp above them so none of the water from above drips on them. I'm only using my filtered water. It's sanitary, and I mix my half-strength fertilizer and a little bit of sea kelp in there and a drop of CalMag, and it's working fabulous. And I think that as long as you got the right sort of bark for them, and it's a good hard bark that's not going to rot, they will do fabulous on it. And I'm so glad that I found this one website, and they talked about how toxic the super glue is. Glad I didn't do that. I used the fishing line. It's Orchidaria. If you want to know, you can look it up. It's the chemicals in the super glue that kill the orchid roots. And I found that very interesting, and I thought it was a great article, the person that did that, and I'm glad I found it. Anyway, here's my Dendrophylax lindleyi update. We're having a heat wave starting. My temperatures tomorrow are going to be in the high 90s, and then 2 or 3 days after that it's going to be over 100. And these things are going to be hot, and I have found that they do love the heat as long as you keep them moist after the dry out period. And I had so many orchid babies that I had to mount 2 and 3 on a piece of wood, and a lot of these are surviving. I'm excited about that. Some of my orchids mounts have 4 and 5 dendrophyllums, ghost orchids on them. That is a new root coming out of that little crown there. The other thing too, if there's a tiny bit of agar still on the crown of the orchid, it still continues to feed them. Look at this. It doesn't hurt them as long as they start going through the dry wet cycle. Fabulous. Ooh, I want to look at this one in the sunlight. Look at that. It's got a leg starting on the crown again. Fabulous. I like it. I'm going to stick with the fishing line. Gingerly mounting with fishing line. Very carefully and gently. I'm being very gentle with it. And it's a success. That's my update. Keeping them misted in the heat waves. About every 4 or 5 hours. I've gotten my rhythm down on it. Happy growing. Have a good day. And I still have another group to mount. I think I'll put them on more of the hickory. I like how compact and lightweight it is. It's nice. Even though Orchid Society article suggests using inch-thick wood, tell you what, that stuff is hard to handle. You can always add a piece of wood on the back of it if it overgrows it. See you later. Bye.